Tom Hanks, one of Hollywood's biggest stars, struggled with type 2 diabetes for years. Even with strict diets, exercise, and various expensive medications, including daily insulin injections, his blood sugar spikes remained out of control. Everything's changed. Tom Hanks is now diabetes-free. After more than 20 years of facing this condition, he is now free. And he's about to reveal something incredible to us. And the most amazing part, it wasn't some experimental or expensive treatment that freed him from blood sugar spikes, but rather an innovative natural method. That's why he's here today to share his story with us. Hi, Tom. I am so happy to be here with you today because I believe what you have to reveal to the audience is truly groundbreaking. Coming from someone as renowned as you, a world-famous Hollywood actor, I am sure it will influence many people and, most importantly, save countless lives.
Hi, Stephen. Let me cut right to the chase. The truth is, I've tried absolutely everything to control my blood sugar. The medications only gave me side effects. While my levels would spike to 210, 260, and even 300 milligrams per deciliter. I also tried following common recommendations, like improving my diet and exercising, but the truth is, that's not enough to reverse type 2. I had already come to terms with this condition and thought I would live with it for the rest of my life. However, out of the blue, my daughter found a video by a doctor who specializes in diabetes, Dr. Chris Wilson. He is a diabetes specialist from the University of Harvard whose work was validated by leading experts at Frankfurt and Stanford. In this interview, he revealed that the real cause of diabetes isn't related to sugar, lifestyle, or genetics. And he shared a home remedy that has already reversed diabetes in thousands of people. After just 6 weeks following Dr. Wilson method, I threw away all my medications, started eating sweets again, and my blood sugar stabilized at 95. The video of Dr. Wilson's interview is right here with your production. I believe it would be perfect to share it with everyone.
Excellent. Production team, can we now show Dr. Chris Wilson's interview revealing this natural solution?
And even though this discovery goes against everything the pharmaceutical industry preaches, it's completely true and scientifically based. Let me explain. Indeed, when we eat pasta or something sweet, our glucose naturally rises. But that's not what causes type 2 diabetes. After all, we have a specific organ just to handle the glucose. We eat the pancreas. The problem is that some people's pancreas stops producing insulin, and that's what leads to excess blood sugar. But no matter how hard researchers tried to reverse this problem, until recently, it was practically impossible to do so. And I said it right. It was impossible because in 2024, everything changed. Thanks to research that took 20 years to complete, we now know what's behind this pancreas failure. A toxic cell that silently hides in our body, causing deadly blood glucose spike. And the worst comes after, because if these toxic cells are not eliminated, a mantle of malignant cells lining the pancreas is created, and it starts attacking vital organs like the heart, liver, and kidney, raising blood sugar. And that's what's causing blindness, amputation, heart attacks, and even death in millions of innocent Americans who had no idea about this dangerous mantle. I know, it sounds shocking, and you're asking now, is there any way to fight these toxic cells and treat diabetes? Indeed, there is. A simple, cheap, and 100% natural solution that anyone can prepare at home to eliminate this diabetic bacteria and put an end to type 2 diabetes in up to 30 days or less. And best of all, without stepping foot outside your home and spending less than one a day. Something that works, whether you're a man or woman, 18 or 81 years old, whether you've just discovered pre-diabetes or have been suffering from diabetes for 15 years, it doesn't matter. Because this natural method will work for you, just like it has already worked for more than 28,000 of men and women who became diabetes-free, without radical diets, without hours of exercise, and without relying on expensive medications. People like Alex Carter from Austin, Texas, who said,
"Well, I tried everything. I took glucophage, metformin, and even cut out all the carbs, but nothing worked. And to tell you the truth, well, I really didn't have much faith in this discovery either. But I ended up eating my words because it worked incredibly well. Now, I can eat without being afraid of sugar spikes, and my doctor told me last week that I am a former diabetic.
Or like Judy Peterson from Orlando, Florida, who commented,
Since I started using this 5 weeks ago, my sugar spikes have simply disappeared. In my last blood test, my glucose levels were so low they looked like those of a teenager. Wow, that's quite the promise, isn't it? But I'll believe it when I see it. That's why I'm eager to see the studies that the doctor brought, proving everything is true, and especially to hear more real stories from people who reversed their diabetes with this natural method.
That's why it's important that you stay tuned to this presentation, because today you'll discover how to do the quick test recommended by UCLA that anyone can do at home using just 2 cups to find out whether or not they're infected with this toxic mantle. I'm going to explain how pharmaceutical companies have spent millions of dollars on false advertising to promote diabetes medications that not only fail to address the root cause, but also cause cancer. You'll discover the one vegetable you cannot, under any circumstances, put on your plate. If you suffer from diabetes, throw this poison away, or your next meal could be your last. And I will show you a Japanese 7-second warm water ritual to stabilize your blood sugar, and that starts reversing type 2 diabetes the very first time you do it. So please, stay with us, because this program could change your life or the life of someone close to you who's at serious risk because of type 2 diabetes. But before we see all that, I'm going to introduce myself better. Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Chris Wilson. I am 56 years old. I am a researcher and retired endocrinologist, specializing in diabetes, graduated and post-graduated from the prestigious Harvard University. I was responsible, along with specialists, doctors, and other health researchers, for revolutionary discoveries in the endocrine field, but none of them compare to what I am about to reveal to you here today. Since the beginning of my career, I have been able to help over 28,000 people resolve their hormonal issues and control their blood sugar completely naturally without the need for medications or insulin injections. However, there is a big difference between managing and completely reversing this problem. This is what I am about to show you today, the nearly impossible mission that I have embraced for my life, which changed my father's life forever and is changing the lives of millions of Americans by permanently reversing type 2 diabetes in their bodies. This is exactly what I want to show you in the next few seconds. This incredible discovery, filled with irrefutable scientific evidence, was made by an extremely important Asian medical institute in the field of endocrinology, responsible for having helped over 100,000 people naturally reverse their type 2 diabetes without expensive medications, painful injections, or risky surgeries, in a completely natural and safe manner. And it's no wonder that this discovery is competing for the 2024 Nobel Prize. So, if you or a loved one is struggling with type 2 diabetes, if you are tired of pricking your fingers over and over again throughout the day, if you are frustrated with the constant worry about blood sugar spikes, and if you are living in an endless cycle of medications that seem to multiply year after year, pay close attention to what I am about to tell you. For this could be your turning point in life, a moment when everything can change for the better. Just like what happened with my father a few months ago, I remember it as if it were yesterday, back when I was still working as a doctor in my office. The most important person in my life, my father, came to me complaining that he was feeling weak all the time. His vision was blurry and he always felt dizzy during the day. In addition, he began to have an uncontrollable craving for chocolate and other desserts, with hot apple pie being his favorite. At that point, I began to suspect that my father had type 2 diabetes, and my suspicion was confirmed when I checked their blood sugar levels. Fortunately, they were at 263, which is already quite dangerous. But it's a good thing he came to see me that day, because if he had delayed his visit for at least one more day, I don't even want to think about what could have happened to my father. Because if he reached 280, he would be entering a critical zone where the risk of diabetic comas, cardiac arrhythmias, hypertension, and cerebral edema becomes very, very real. The worst part was that my father was a quite active man. He was a lively man, always cheerful and bringing happiness wherever he went. But with this illness, he gradually lost his sparkle and love for life, likely on the verge of a deep depression from the very beginning. He exercised about 4 times a week, walked, and even followed a diet. But I admit that he ate carbohydrates carbohydrates and had a bit of a sweet tooth, but he doesn't anymore. Upon confirming that he had type 2 diabetes, as usual, and according to what we learned in university and in scientific research, I prescribed insulin injections, metformin, and continued to monitor his condition to see if his blood sugar levels would decrease. But what happened was completely the opposite. I was confident that the medication would help my father feel better, but in reality, everything got worse. For the next 6 years, his blood sugar levels rose increasingly and could not stabilize. He began to experience tingling in his legs, and his vision became blurry. It started to become cloudier over time, and spots began to appear. His cravings for sweets never disappeared. He also gained 48 pounds in his belly and back. In addition to a body that was always in pain, that was when I started to increase the doses of the medication and decided to prescribe insulin injections. But the results did not improve. His immunity was declining more and more, leaving his body fragile and sensitive. In addition, these medications generally lose their effectiveness over time, and the side effects begin to outweigh the benefits. My father started having stomach problems, episodes of hypoglycemia, and even fainting. Even after increasing the doses and trying more than 10 different medications without success, I had to resort to other solutions, so we tried everything you can imagine. Books for diabetics, exercise programs, alternative therapies, acupuncture, banana tricks, cinnamon, and much more. But despite some of these solutions providing temporary relief, none of them came close to reversing my father's type 2 diabetes. Until 3 years ago, he had a bacterial infection that he could not fight off. A small cut on the left leg made while scraping against the garage table while sweeping the area. Over time, due to the diabetes, this cut was unable to heal properly and became significantly infected with the Streptococcus bacteria. This caused necrotizing fasciitis in my father's left leg, which was silently attacking his nerves until it became like this. And all of this happened because of his diabetes and his body's inability to fight off infection. And it seemed that nothing worked. The 4 medications for the leg infection combined with the insulin injections only made him feel like a zombie. I felt dizzy, had diarrhea, and excessive sweating. I was completely desperate, but the worst news was yet to come. One day, my father and mother went to a doctor to check the state of the infection and see if they could find a way to cure it. That's when my mother called me crying, "Chris, your father is going to have to amputate his leg." At that moment, my world froze. Nothing was going through my mind. I went to the hospital where they were to talk to the doctor, and he told me that if it took too long, this infection could spread throughout the body and worsen the situation even more. At that moment, I was speechless. My father was serious and unresponsive. It seemed that for him, his life no longer made sense. The doctor emphasized that it was something he shouldn't take too long to think about, as something worse could happen. I told him that we would think it over before making a decision. On the way home, my father didn't say a single word. He was in shock at the idea of never having his left leg again. In the following days, he fell into a deep and dark hole of depression. He had nights full of nightmares, waking up screaming and desperate with dreams of his leg being amputated. It was so intense that there were times when he would wake up as if he were having a heart attack from so much distress and anxiety he was experiencing, and with each passing day, my father suffered more and more. He was losing the movement in his leg and was feeling more and more useless each day, and I could feel his anger and frustration with this disease. It was horrible to see my father that way, and even being a doctor, I could do nothing. I used everything available on the face of the earth to solve my father's problem, but nothing was sufficient, or almost everything. I started to doubt the available medical solutions, diabetes, whether it had a cure or if there was a cause, or if only selected people went through this problem. I was completely lost, watching my father die, without being able to do anything, without being able to help and support him. I needed a light and to breathe a little. It was then that I went back home. home. When I arrived home, I started to cry desperately. I needed a light, something to help my father, something to repay the hero he has been to me all my life. So I started to pray, asking for help. My father needed me, and I couldn't let him suffer like that. And if God really existed, I knew that with his help, everything would be possible. It was then that with the help of the divine, I realized that I only had two paths. First, I could ignore all the terrible facts that were happening with my father and wait until his leg was amputated, and soon after he became blind, lived a life full of stress and worries, and became dependent on family and medication to survive. Or I could choose the second option and fight for my father's life, seek the true cause of diabetes and the high blood sugar levels so that I could somehow eliminate this hellish disease from my father's body forever. It was at that moment that I decided to fight against the entire scheme of corruption in the pharmaceutical industries and the doctors' mafia, which were leaving people increasingly sick and dependent on treatments that only masked the symptoms but never reversed the problem, just to keep their profits soaring. When I started researching everything that was possible, even being a doctor graduated from one of the best universities in the world, it was a great challenge for me as a professional. I analyzed all the new discoveries from Harvard, Stanford, Johns Hopkins Institute, and many others. To my unhappiness, I could not find anything new in these studies. Just the old sayings that we already know, like exercise, eat fewer carbohydrates, keep taking the medications, or accept being diabetic. But that was the point. None of this would make me believe that there is nothing that causes the high spikes in blood sugar. And this, after a long time, I discovered news that could change the entire situation for my old man. Pay close attention now, because the pharmaceutical industries will do everything to keep the information I am about to reveal in seconds. Look, after several weeks of studying and thoroughly reading various research, I realized that there was a pattern. Only the studies funded by major pharmaceutical companies such as Pfizer, Roche, and Johnson & Johnson were complete, while those funded by universities and non-profit organizations were completely censored and blurred. During several days of analysis, I realized that many studies were from one place, the Japanese Endocrine Institute in Kyoto. Meanwhile, to my sadness, most of them were very difficult to read. However, in one titled Experiment That Reversed Diabetes in 620 People, I was able to decipher some things within those blurred areas of censorship. And what I discovered was what led me to find a way to cure my father's type 2 diabetes once and for all. This Japanese institute conducted a detailed study with over 42 pages involving 620 diabetics from around the world. In this study, they observed that in the top bodies of these 620 diabetics, there was a cloak of toxic cells wandering and harming their organs. After observing, they confirmed that these toxic cells were in fact what was causing diabetes in their bodies. With the smudges, I couldn't discern more details about these cells. But as I continued reading this study, I ended up coming across the solution that was responsible for treating 620 diabetics. Something that spoke about a simple morning ritual used by the Japanese, which was introduced into the lives of these people. This ignited a flame of hope in my chest. At the end of these experiments, the doctors from the Japanese Endocrine Institute found that about 96% of the 620 participants were completely cured of diabetes. Their blood glucose levels simply stabilized between 77 and 93 milligrams in less than a month of experimentation. And they were able to perfectly eliminate the high levels of blood sugar from their lives. And that the other 4% managed to drop from averages like 240, 331, and even 414 to incredible 93, 113, and 116 while fasting. The moment I read that, I knew it was a sign from God for me to continue the battle for my father's cure. And I was close to finding the true way to reverse my father's diabetes. The only thing I needed to know was what these toxic cells were and how these diabetics managed to heal. That's when I decided to look for other studies from the Japanese Endocrine Institute that talked more about this. But guess what? Everyone was censored and blurred, but I couldn't give up. Time was a luxury I didn't have. I needed to find this solution quickly before my father's leg was amputated. In the following days, I transformed into a Sherlock Holmes. I started looking for the names of those responsible for these research studies and realized that all the studies always led me to the same name, Yuki Nishinoya, the lead researcher of most studies at the Institute. Digging a little deeper, I discovered that Dr. Yuki Nishinoya was a Japanese doctor who graduated from Harvard and contributed to scientific advancement in the United States for over 15 years until he returned to Japan to live a quieter life. The only obstacle was that I couldn't find any contact information for Dr. Nishinoya. It was then that while looking through forums, I discovered several incredible stories of men and women from around the world who managed to reverse their type 2 diabetes without using medications, but with the help of the doctors from the Japanese Endocrine Institute. Ursula Schneider, for example, a 67-year-old woman, said that with the help of the doctors from the Japanese Endocrine Institute, especially the assistance of Dr. Yuki Nishinoya, she went from having advanced diabetes to taking 3 doses of insulin per day for a life, free and completely cured of diabetes. After that, I began to find several incredible stories of people my father's age or even older who reversed their type 2 diabetes in 12 days, thanks to Dr. Yuki and his studies at the Japanese Endocrine Institute. Upon reading this, the spark of hope I had grew even stronger. I thought that perhaps my father could also overcome this problem once and for all. I got excited and started posting in forums, sharing the story of my old man and asking if anyone knew Dr. Ryuki Nishinoya. I was doing everything possible to find him. It was then that after 4 days, to my great surprise, an elderly man sent me a message, and he said, "Hi, I am the doctor, and I think I can help your father." When I read that, my heart must have stopped. He said he could help me, but for him to show me everything about the true cause of diabetes and how those people reverse diabetes without any medication, I would need to go to Japan, all for safety reasons. I knew I couldn't waste time, so on the same day, I packed my bags and took the first flight to Japan the next day. It was a 14-hour flight. The way I was anxious, I couldn't even sleep. When I arrived in Japan, I had to take another 3-hour trip to a small island, well known for its beautiful landscapes and the longevity of the people who live there, the island of Okinawa. Upon arriving on the island, I already called a taxi to Dr. Yuki's house, and when I got there, I saw that it was a small but very charming house with an elderly man watering his plants in the yard. I called out, "Dr. Yuki." He turned around and signed to me, inviting me to sit at the table on the porch. We introduced ourselves, and I began to tell him about my father's diabetes, the problems with his leg, and how we had tried everything to get better, but nothing worked. That's when I told him that he was my last hope. At that moment, he began to talk a little about his story. Yuki was a renowned endocrinologist, an expert in cellular morphology, and the chief researcher at one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the United States, Pfizer. At the time he worked in the industry, he was leading several research projects, including one that was getting closer and closer to finding a cure for diabetes. However, when the results of this research began to become more significant and promising, and Yuki started to release them to the scientific community, he was unexpectedly fired and all of his studies disappeared. Without alternatives and frustrated with the corruption, he returned to Japan, where he continued his search for solutions for diabetes. Now, outside the corporate environment, he was truly focused on developing a way to cure type 2 diabetes once and for all. It was then that when Dr. Yuki began to talk about diabetes, he mentioned that although diabetes treatments are prescribed by doctors, none of them are effective. Treatments such as diet, glyphage, insulin, metformin, and exercise only address the symptoms of diabetes and not the true cause, the root of the problem. Dr. Holt began by saying that the real reason people become diabetic is that their bodies cannot produce enough insulin. The pancreas is the crucial organ responsible for the production of insulin in the body. Insulin is vital for our health as it removes excess sugar from the blood and transports it to the cells where it is converted into energy for the survival of our body. When the pancreas does not produce insulin properly, all the sugar you consume accumulates in the bloodstream. This excess sugar is the main responsible factor for the development of type 2 diabetes. But the question that remained was why the pancreas starts to produce less insulin. At that moment, I began to connect the dots of what I had seen in the research. My suspicion was that the reason diabetics produce little insulin was precisely those toxic cells that his research mentioned. It was then that I decided to ask him, "Doctor, I understand what you meant, but now, what really causes this low insulin production? Why do some people have diabetes and others do not? I saw one of your studies discussing some cells that could be the root cause of the problem. Tell me about it, please. In that study, while Dr. Hioki was researching 620 patients with different stages of type 2 diabetes using the most advanced Carl Zeiss microscope, he came across something bizarre. During his analysis, he came across a cluster of toxic cells around the pancreas that had stopped dividing but did not die. These strange cells have been called toxic cells. This is part of a phenomenon known as cellular senescence. These toxic cells not only stopped dividing, but as they remained in the body, they increasingly destroyed the nearby healthy tissue. And at the moment they approach the vital organs, these organs stop functioning properly. However, the situation worsens when it reaches the pancreas, as these toxic cells inhibit the regeneration of the beta pancreatic cells, the cells that produce insulin. As a result, the pancreas is unable to pump enough insulin for the body. For years, doctors and diabetes researchers, including myself, were perplexed, unable to understand why they could not overcome type 2 diabetes. However, this discovery by Dr. Yu shows that these toxic cells are the true culprits for blocking insulin production and preventing blood sugar from reaching the cells and being converted into energy. To explain better, consider these toxic cells as a car with a weak battery. Just as a weak battery cannot provide enough power for the car to start and run well, toxic cells prevent the pancreas from producing enough insulin, causing blood sugar levels to rise and leading to the development of diabetes. The body cannot transport this sugar to the cells, just as the car cannot start properly. But that's not all. There is a possibility that these toxic cells may rupture. If this happens within you, they can migrate to different parts of our body and cause other serious health problems, such as blindness, Alzheimer, arterial stiffness, osteoarthritis, heart attack, and much more. Therefore, it is not surprising that when diagnosed with diabetes, your chances of developing Alzheimer increase by up to 65%. You have a 78% higher chance of developing vision problems or becoming blind. And the probability of suffering a stroke or heart attack is twice as high. All this information scared me at first, but pieces of the research were starting to fit together. So I asked Dr. Yuki what causes these toxic cells, and he replied, it's all a matter of nutrient imbalance. These cells lacked certain essential nutrients which stressed them and prevented their normal division. And instead of dying as they should, they became toxic, causing inflammation around vital organs such as the pancreas, kidneys, liver, and even the heart, essentially suffocating them. So at that moment, I needed to know how to reverse my father's type 2 diabetes. That's when I asked, okay, but now calm down. How did you manage to fix all those people who speak so highly of you in the forum? It's relatively simple, commented Dr. Ryuk. All they needed to do was a complete detoxification of their bodies, cleaning and removing all the toxic cells from the body. When we do this, all the organs of the human body seem to be born again. It's basically like a car that has been traveling for 24 hours on a dirt road, receiving a complete wash, removing all the dirt accumulated from that road. After that, the car will shine again and function perfectly, just like our organs after this detoxification. Moreover, they were able to strengthen the immune system to prevent future infections. He responded. It was then that he mentioned that after various unsuccessful tests, a compound found in some medicinal plants called polyphenol was what removed all the toxic cells from the bodies of the participants in his studies, perfectly reversing type 2 diabetes. However, he mentioned that each of these plants produced a different type of polyphenol and that most of them were weak. But there is a powerful plant that has the purest and most potent polyphenol that exists. It was with the polyphenol extracted from this plant that all of Dr. Ryuk's patients were able to cure their diabetes forever. He was talking about the Japanese herb called Himena sylvestre. Surprisingly, the polyphenol from Himena sylvestre is 47 times more concentrated than any other natural herb. He also intrigued me with a question. Have you ever wondered why the Japanese people always have such low rates of obesity and diabetes, even though 80% of their food is based on rice and noodles? It was when he said, that this herb, Himena sylvestre, is widely consumed in Japan. And that is exactly why the Japanese have such low rates of diabetes. Because the polyphenol found in this plant is the only one capable of sweeping away all the toxic cells from your body and achieving complete detoxification. But this is only possible because the polyphenol is a powerful antioxidant capable of neutralizing the transformation and accumulation of toxic cells in the body, preventing diabetes from occurring, perfectly stabilizing blood sugar levels, and reversing type 2 diabetes once and for all, in addition to giving the body full strength to completely cleanse the pancreas, heart, kidneys, and even the brain of these cells, leaving us as new as a leaf, and also drastically reduce the risk of heart attacks, kidney problems, and even Alzheimer's. It will help to cleanse the cells that stop dividing and do not die before they become toxic cells. And it is all of this that makes this natural Japanese herb be considered by the country's culture as Asian metformin and widely used in the treatment of diseases such as obesity, hypertension, or diabetes. It is no wonder that it is very rare to see an obese Japanese person with diabetes. But soon a question came to my mind. How did these Japanese people have access to the polyphenol extract of this plant? It was then that Dr. Ryuk said that the Japanese never used the extract. In fact, they have the habit of consuming a drink made with Himena sylvestre every morning since childhood. And over time, the highest quality polyphenol they consumed was accumulating and strengthening their bodies. And whenever anything different happened, his body was already prepared for detoxification, removing all the bad cells and preventing diabetes from existing. He even added, "That is exactly what all the participants in my diabetes research, along with the Institute, used. Because they were using this tincture here," he commented, as he took a bottle out of his pocket. "What is inside this bottle is the purest form of polyphenol possible, a perfect extract of the Japanese herb. They needed to mix it with water or another drink of their choice on an empty stomach to eliminate diabetes from their bodies. Some even had super quick results in 5, 7, or 10 days. Others took a month or 2 or even 5. The important thing is that they never stopped until the moment their levels stabilized perfectly. In total, I have helped more than 5,630 people recover from diabetes, and I want the next one to be your father. That's why I am giving you this bottle with the most powerful polyphenol extract." It was impossible and unlikely for him to tell me all of this through social media or in a call. Dr. Yuki himself commented that there was not a single one of their studies that was not censored when they wanted to present it to the scientific community. And that is why you and even I do not find this information in traditional media, because large pharmaceutical companies hide anything that could jeopardize their interests. It was then that I promised myself that if this treatment worked for my father, I would show it to the world. Regardless of the risks, I took the bottle and thanked Dr. Ryuk. I could hardly wait to get to the United States and give this Japanese drink to my father.
The next morning, as soon as I arrived in Massachusetts, my heart was beating so fast in anticipation of getting home. The first thing I saw when I met him was to ask him to put a little of the extract that Dr. Yuki had given me and mix it with water or another drink. He found it strange, but when I told him everything I had done and who I had met in the past few days, he agreed to make it his morning ritual. That day, I made a point to stay with him. We checked his blood glucose 3 times, but nothing had changed. The next morning, he said that again, his glucose levels were still the same, but something was different. He woke up refreshed, as if he had just come out of a deep and restorative sleep, something he hadn't experienced in years. He was still much more willing and excited than before. These were the first signs of improvement that my father had. A week later, something strange happened. My father called me crying, saying that his morning glucose had dropped from 370 to 240. This was a result that I had never been able to achieve before. But that wasn't all. His vision became increasingly clear, and his energy was comparable to that of a 30-year-old. In the weeks that followed, he continued to prepare the Japanese drink every morning, and things got even better. The glucose levels that were previously at 240 dropped 260, then 230, and eventually stabilized at 96. Literally like a dream come true, and it wasn't all of that. The fat on my father's belly and back was melting away day by day. In just a month and a half, he lost almost 58 pounds of fat, visibly rejuvenated by about 15 years, and regained the strength he hadn't had in decades. His cravings, relentless for sweets and carbohydrates, have vanished, and thank God the infection in his leg began to disappear at a speed that seems magical. As the skin was healing and the pain was visibly decreasing, at that moment I realized that if everything went well, my father would no longer need to amputate his leg and lose the will to live and the freedom he had. It was then that a month later, when we returned to the doctor, he was impressed while doing the checkup on my father and called him a walking miracle. At that moment, he revealed that there was no longer a need for the surgery to take place, as his immune system was functioning perfectly, and there was no longer any chance of the infection spreading throughout his body. Over time, by making this drink every day, my father's A1C went from 11.8 for 5.6, and he found himself completely free from diabetes, as if he had been liberated from a nightmare. He seemed to be living a new life, dining out with his wife, spending more time with friends, and going out for his morning walk. And after 5 months, my father continued drinking this Japanese beverage, and his life was getting better and better. He could savor 3 slices of pizza without his hemoglobin going out of control, remaining stable as if his health had found a new balance. It was wonderful to see my own father, one of the people I love and admire most in the world, free himself from this terrible disease. To this day, I get emotional when I think about it. That's when I remembered the promise I made to myself. If this Japanese drink worked for my father, I would show it to the world, regardless of the risk. I had managed to help my father get rid of diabetes, and I knew I could help all those who are struggling against this evil as well. So, the first thing I did was call Dr. Yuki to tell him that my father had cured his diabetes thanks to the supplement he gave me. He was happy with the result, and I thanked him immensely. In this, I had to talk to him about the promise I made.
Please, doctor, we have to tell everyone about this. This is not just a breakthrough saved my father's life and the lives of thousands of others. We need to make this public. In fact, this has always been the wish that Dr. Yuki had from the beginning. He needed someone committed to spreading this solution globally alongside him. And I was that person. I knew I needed to find a way to extract polyphenol in its most concentrated form, to have the most accurate effect. He also knew what the richest source on the planet was, the Japanese Himena. But I needed help to make the extract from this herb. That was when I had the brightest idea of my life. I contacted one of the largest laboratories in the United States that seeks revolutionary ideas to support Takeda. When I presented the evidence and research of Dr. Ryuk to the scientific directors of Takeda, Dr. Ryuk, regarding the effects of the polyphenol extracted from the Japanese Himena on the detoxification of the body and the reversal of type 2 diabetes, they were extremely excited about that revolution. Fortunately, the executive team at Takeda approved the project the next day, and the mission to develop the extraction formula began. The team of scientists at Takeda immersed themselves in intense and meticulous research. We spent 11 long months trying to find the perfect method to extract polyphenol from the Japanese Himena with the highest possible concentration. Finally, in January 2024, we achieved the ideal extract that maximizes the potential of the Japanese Himena. This extract of Japanese Himena contained higher levels of polyphenols than what my father used, and had a much greater power to detoxify the body and eliminate all toxic cells from the bodies of diabetics. And of course, it regulates blood glucose levels for anyone. With the most potent polyphenol extract in hand, we knew it should work for all stages of diabetes. And for this to happen, we knew that it would be necessary to add a few more components to our formula. The first component is curcumin, a powerful natural compound that can transform the way your body handles blood sugar. A study published in 2017 by Harvard Medical School revealed that curcumin helps the body convert blood sugar into energy instead of storing it as fat. Less curcumin in the body means more difficulty managing blood sugar levels, resulting in increased abdominal fat and difficulty in losing weight. Several studies confirm that the improvement in insulin sensitivity due to increased curcumin helps prevent sudden spikes and drops in energy, as well as cravings for carbohydrate-rich foods. Therefore, magnesium glycinate was added, mixed with grapeseed extract and a precise amount of African mango. According to Dr. Ryuk, these powerful ingredients act by penetrating the areas affected by toxic cells in your body, promoting cellular regeneration as if creating new, healthy cells while boosting metabolism, allowing the body to operate at its maximum potential regardless of age. We knew that our potent formula with all these ingredients was what all diabetics needed to enjoy a healthy body like that of youth. This was done so that our formula could be presented in a simpler way to be consumed and used. It needed to be something simple, unlike capsules that are difficult to take and powders that often cause heartburn. For this reason, we chose to keep it in drop form, the same one that saved my father from diabetes and helped hundreds of patients of Dr. Ryuk. Furthermore, the absorption of the polyphenol is faster, which adds extra potency to the extract, leading to one of the quickest results. With drops, we completely eliminate the difficulty of swallowing pills while also creating a profile of naturally sweet flavor using stevia, making it a more pleasant treatment to eliminate all diabetes from your body in a few weeks. But I wanted to make sure that this formula we created would really have the same effect, or perhaps even better, than the extract from Dr. Ryuk. That is why my team and I conducted an extensive experiment with over 720 diabetic volunteers. Among these volunteers were men and women aged 20 to 82 years. Some were pre-diabetic, others newly diagnosed, and some had been suffering from this hellish disease for approximately 30 years in total. To ensure that our formula worked without any chance of error, all participants agreed to try our treatment for 180 days. This was because we delivered it personally to their homes. We were very committed to understanding how the volunteers were performing. That is why, every week, each of the volunteers received a form to report their progress. I expected it would take a few weeks for the first reports to arrive, but what happened was incredible. In just 1 week, my phone started to explode with calls from the volunteers. They were completely euphoric, saying that their blood sugar levels had decreased drastically, and moreover, they were losing a lot of weight. They couldn't believe what was happening. So I encouraged them to keep monitoring their progress. And when I went to collect the reports, the results were surprising. 716 of the 720 participants completely eliminated those toxic cells, cleaned their pancreases, and transformed their bodies into true fat-burning machines. And now their organs were clean and functioning perfectly. And the best part is that they had completely eliminated diabetes from their lives. In just a few weeks, some of the volunteers went for medical tests, and the results provided the transformative news they had been hoping for. The tests showed that they were as healthy as people who have never had glucose in their lives, and now they could get rid of their medications. This anti-diabetes formula helped them heal from diabetes and also lose an average of 21 pounds of body fat in 6 weeks. Everyone, without exception, experienced a significant improvement in health. Lower blood pressure, healthier heart, and even improved brain function as a complete renewal of the body. Now you may be wondering, what happened to the 4 people who did not completely reverse type 2 diabetes? Well, their fasting glucose levels dropped to about 125, which means that diabetes was under control and classified as low risk. This increased their life expectancy by 10 years. But don't worry, the 2 of them continued the treatment as they had agreed. And at the end of these 6 months, they finally reversed type 2 diabetes. Their bodies were free from toxic cells, completely renewed, and without any indication that diabetes could return. Therefore, we have proven that the experiment was a success for everyone. We were so excited that we could hardly wait to share this treatment with the world. That is why, after much hard work, months of testing and experiments in laboratories, I am honored to present to you Sugar Reverse, the only completely natural and fully anti-diabetes treatment in the world. It is the only one that is truly made with the plant considered the natural metformin, the Japanese herb Himena sylvestre, which contains the true cure for diabetes, polyphenol, in its purest, most intense and potent concentration, giving the ability to any man and woman, regardless of their age, to expel toxic cells from the body once and for all, balance blood sugar levels, and reverse type 2 diabetes once and for all. This is the power that Sugar Reverse has. Our formula has already helped over 113 people get rid of high sugar level and reverse your A1C from over 11% to below 6%. 100%. This is because we designed it so that anyone, even those suffering from prediabetes or diabetes for a few days, 3 months, 3 years, or 3 decades, would be able to completely heal from this disease. So that people aged 20 or even 80 could enjoy a life without having filled themselves with medications and injections every day. The formula of Sugar Reverse is designed to work for anyone, regardless of age, gender, genetics, or severity of the condition. You don't need to cut carbohydrates, sweets, diet, exercise, or any of that. Just place a dropper under your tongue or in your favorite drink once a day upon waking, and wait for your body to start working in your favor, perfectly eliminating diabetes from your body. It is no wonder that people from all over the world confirm this incredible achievement, like Ruth J., 58 years old, in Miami.
I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes 7 years ago. At first, my doctor prescribed me metformin, but every 6 months he increased my dosage because my diabetes was getting worse. After a while, my kidneys started to not work properly, my sleep got worse, and I began having several dizzy spells as side effects from the medication. I had just retired and escaped the nightmare of work. Then I started living a nightmare at home because of this disease. My last hope was Dr. Chris's video showing the Sugar Reverse. Thanks to him, I started believing again that I could live a happy and peaceful retirement. At first, I was skeptical that something so simple could work, but after doing this method for a month, I managed to lower my blood sugar level from 233 to 130. Then, after 2 more months, my blood sugar dropped to 105 and stayed there for over 10 weeks. By the end of 6 months, after using Sugar Reverse every single day, my life was completely renewed. I had lost 29 pounds, was free from injections and medications, and I could finally live the life I had always dreamed of.
Albert P., 43 years old, from Mississippi.
Hello everyone, my name is Albert and I've been suffering from diabetes for 7 years and I've tried everything. Diets, exercise plans, teas, medications, acupuncture, vitamins. I even stopped drinking alcohol. All of that helped me for a while, but after a few weeks, my blood sugar went back up to high levels, much higher than normal. I was convinced my diabetes would never go away, and I was already feeling terrible effects from this disease, especially with my vision. I could barely see out of my left eye, and I was banned from driving. When I tried Sugar Reverse, it was like God had suddenly worked a miracle on me, and in a very short time, I reversed my type 2 diabetes, just like you said. Now, I'm enjoying a new life without stress, tiredness, poor sleep, or bland food, spending more time with my wife, grandkids, and friends. People need to know this really works. I'm telling everyone, thank you.
So, if you are interested in having the incredible Sugar Reverse in your hands, stay with me as I will show you how in just a moment. The truth is that finding the right ingredients create the perfect formula for Sugar Reverse to reverse diabetes is extremely rare and scarce, mainly in the United States, where the food industry dominates, and to increase their production and profits, they infest the market's natural ingredients with hormones and pesticides, reducing their effectiveness by up to 80%. That is precisely why we were unable to recreate the potency of the Japanese polyphenol in our laboratories and had to spend dozens of dollars to import the Japanese herb. That is why it took us more than 6 months to replenish the new stocks of Sugar Reverse, because we prioritize 100% quality and effectiveness of the formula. Furthermore, more and more people who have tried our products and noticed the change that has occurred in their lives are asking for more bottles for themselves,
For family and friends.
stocking up just so that in case our supply runs out, they still ensure they have the power to fight against diabetes for the rest of their lives. They are taking our supplement to rejuvenate the entire body and improve the function of the pancreas, liver, and heart. And this has emptied our stock in a matter of days. Therefore, it is very important that you continue, because to avoid
Scams and fraud.
this is the only site where in a few minutes you can have your Sugar Reverse in hand and ensure that your diabetes goes away from your life forever. To make this happen, when you have Sugar Reverse in hand, the only thing you need to do is place a dropper under your tongue or in your breakfast or throughout the day, and let our formula do the work for you, because these will be the things
things that will happen to you from the moment you start using Sugar Reverse. In the first 2 weeks of use, the first thing you will notice is that your blood sugar decreases even without having to try very hard. Even without strictly following the diet or engaging in physical activity, simply taking the formula before breakfast drastically reduces blood sugar level. This happens because the Japanese herb extract will be starting to take effect and reduce the inflammation in your organs. And as this cleansing occurs, your body will already begin to receive the benefit. You will notice that those pains and skin infections, especially in the foot area, will no longer occur as frequently. You will also notice that the feeling of tiredness and fatigue that has been with you for so long will no longer be with you. In addition, that feeling of dizziness, blurred vision, or tingling in the feet and hands will also begin to disappear. And the best part is that you will never have to fill yourself with medications, restrict your diet, or exhaust yourself with extremely tiring exercises. All of this will happen naturally in the first 2 weeks, and as the days go by, you will also notice that your blood sugar levels are dropping more and more, and those glucose spikes that make you feel unstable will no longer bother you. And when you complete the treatment, you will cry tears of joy when your doctor sees your new blood tests and gives you the good news that your type 2 diabetes is now cured and you are free to enjoy the life you deserve. You won't need to change anything in your diet or routine, but I need to give an important warning. You should not throw your diabetes medications in the trash as soon as you start the treatment. The ideal is that you continue taking them for at least the first 6 weeks of treatment with Sugar Reverse. After that, you will do a new blood sugar test, and when you confirm your glucose levels, they are 100% safe. Talk to your doctor about stopping traditional medications and continuing the daily use of Sugar Reverse, okay? And another very important point, usually in less than 10 days, you will already be able to control your blood sugar levels and will start to feel more energetic, have more energy, and lose weight. In 4 to 6 weeks, your body will be able to completely reverse type 2 diabetes. But it is extremely important that continue using Sugar Reverse consistently, keeping your body protected and preventing the disease from attacking again. That is why I always recommend at least 6 months of treatment, which means 6 bottles. And I'm only saying this because a large part of our patients are enjoying the benefits of Sugar Reverse forever, precisely because they used it continuously for 12 months. And we need to be honest, it wasn't overnight that your blood sugar got out of control. It wasn't overnight that the toxic cells began to attack your body and prevent your pancreas from producing insulin. And in this way, it will not be overnight that it will be expelled and no longer exist in your body. That's why I will always recommend the 6-pot treatment, regardless of how long my patient has had type 2 diabetes, because such a result in a period of 6 months is very quick. Especially because I knew people who have been fighting against this for over 10 years, and nowadays they have completely reversed this disease. So, as a general rule, after seeing the positive results of more than 113,000 people suffering from advanced type 2 diabetes, we recommend taking 6 bottles or more to be completely sure for a period of 180 days, just like my father did. Now it is obvious why Sugar Reverse is the only effective option for successfully treating type 2 diabetes. At this moment, I imagine that you are extremely curious to get your hands on this proven and innovative solution. A formula made with 100% natural ingredients and without contraindications that will not cause side effects or interact with your current medications. I really believe you are imagining
never having to go to the doctor again or take all those medications and treatments just to suffer negative side effects. Or you may never have to live with that constant worry of not being able to eat or do anything. All of this comes after you have Sugar Reverse in hand. Based on everything I've said, you can understand why the laboratory initially wanted to set the price of Sugar Reverse at $380 per bottle. All the ingredients are natural. Most of them are imported from exotic locations around the world, and each one undergoes rigorous efficacy testing, once by us and once by an independent laboratory approved by the FDA. This ensures purity, potency, and zero allergens or toxins. This formula is 100% natural, lactose-free, and completely gluten-free. We package in sealed bottles to prevent any contamination. All of this is to ensure the best product on the market. Furthermore, this special formula has been designed to address the root cause of type 2 diabetes, which is a life-threatening disease that can eventually leave you blind, with a leg amputated, or even. Considering all of this, $380
$59 per dose may seem like an incredible offer, but I have made it very clear Sugar Reverse is not aimed at profit. All we want is to indeed help you and people like you to get rid of this disease. This is what my story and mission have been from the beginning. The important thing now is that after our first batch was sold 210 per bottle, people paid gladly because they saw excellent results. I received several emails from people who cannot afford Sugar Reverse. I knew I had to find a way for everyone to be able to pay. As demand increased, we were able to negotiate better deals with our clients. But instead of pocketing the difference, as most companies do, we do something different. We cut the price of Sugar Reverse in half and it is now $110. But you know what? I will make the deal even easier for you because I can imagine how difficult it must be to live in constant fear of going into a coma, losing your vision, or having Alzheimer's. That is why only today and exclusively on this site, you will participate in a special promotion never seen before. As a celebration of our first 8 months of incredible success, we are running a campaign called Diabetes Free that will be active until the end of this week. Incredible promotions will arise for you. The first is that when you buy the 6-bottle kit, you pay for 3 and get 3 more for free. We guarantee 6 months of treatment, which is the option most recommended by doctors and studies. It's as if each bottle of Sugar Reverse costs only $49 in the 6-month treatment plan. In addition to saving money, it also ensures that your body continues to detoxify, keeping glucose stabilized and diabetes away from your body forever. Now, if you prefer to buy the kit of 3 bottles, you only pay 2 and get 1 completely free, ensuring 3 complete month treatment. In this case, each bottle of Sugar Reverse costs only $59. Now, if you choose the less common option of reserving just 1 bottle of Sugar Reverse, you will pay a one-time fee of $79. These are all the promotional options you have today, only through this website. You just have to make the transformative decision to invest a small amount in this extraordinary anti-diabetic weapon. So, click on the 6-bottle package below or any other package you want to secure your order. Consider this the smallest and most powerful investment you can make in yourself. Yes, a bottle of Sugar Reverse can stabilize your blood sugar and address issues such as restless sleep, low energy, and food cravings. 3 bottles may be enough to quickly restore your entire body, shedding extra pounds and improving circulation, blood, and helping to rejuvenate your brain cells to keep Alzheimer's at bay. But 6 bottles of Sugar Reverse may be the ultimate solution for your life, making your body immune to diabetes and all other diseases. Not only addressing the lack of insulin, but also cravings, blood flow, kidneys, and all the problems caused by the accumulation of toxic cells in the pancreas, liver, or heart. Eliminate all types of body inflammation, some of which you may not even be aware of. It is no coincidence that the best results are always achieved by patients who purchase the kit of 6 bottles. Therefore, make the right choice. Click the button below and secure the kit of 6 bottles or another package that you feel more comfortable with. As soon as you click one of the buttons, you will be directed to our 100% secure payment page. Once there, it's just 3 steps to test and complete your purchase. The first step is to fill in your basic information with name, email, and phone number. We need this information because it is through your email and phone number that we will contact you to send your tracking code. The second step is to fill in the address where you want the product to be delivered. And the third and final step is to fill in your payment information. You can pay with a credit card or with PayPal, rest assured. Your information is 100% secure, protected, and encrypted. We use the same security as places like Walmart, Amazon, and Apple to ensure that your information is 100% secure. After all that, just wait for 5 to 7 days to receive Sugar Reverse directly at your doorstep. In addition, you can rest assured that shipping is on us 100% free for all of the United States. But there is a catch. This free shipping is part of this exclusive promotion and lasts only while Sugar Reverse is still in stock, as it may run out at any moment during the days. If you are struggling with diabetes diabetes or pre-diabetes and want to try this revolutionary formula, Sugar Reverse, to eliminate the problem once and for all, click below now and take advantage of this super discount we are offering during our diabetes-free campaign. But as a warning, no matter what your choice is, you have nothing to lose. I am saying this because regardless of the option, whether it is 1, 3, or 6 bottles of Sugar Reverse, you have absolutely nothing to lose because you are covered by our unconditional 180-day guarantee, where you either achieve 100% health or get your money back. This is enough time to completely remove and sweep away the toxic cells from the body, detoxify your body, and stabilize your blood sugar. That's why you should start taking this innovative formula today and see for yourself how your blood sugar levels return to the normal range in just a few days. And if for any reason this does not happen, we will refund every penny invested. Just send an email to support@reversesugar.com informing that you wish to request your refund and you will get your money back. But there's more. If by some miracle Sugar Reverse does not meet your expectations, which has almost never happened with patients who have tried it, even if we refund your entire investment, you will still keep all the bottles you received forever. With all of this, it is clear how much we trust our formula, and we know that this could be a turning point in your life. Just start taking this innovative solution today and see for yourself how your blood sugar levels return to the normal range in just a few days. As fatigue, cravings, tiredness, pain, and tingling gradually disappear, you can finally feel healthy again and be able to savor your favorite foods whenever you want, just like 113,000 other satisfied customers have discovered. Lose fat, gain muscle, increase energy, and regain that youthful sparkle in your eyes. And if you are not satisfied for any reason, this has never happened, but just in case, send an email and I will buy it back from you. No questions asked. As I said, this is a 100% risk-free investment. So, click one of the buttons below to start your journey to becoming free from diabetes. But know that you really need to act now. We are offering a bottle of Sugar Reverse for just $79, and this price goes even lower if you purchase our most popular packages. And the best part is, Sugar Reverse will arrive at your door in just a few days, usually in less than 3 days. You can now enjoy the ultimate solution for diabetes. Although our customers may notice changes from the very first day of use, all studies show that the more you use it, the more results you achieve. So, does it make sense for you to take advantage of our diabetes-free campaign and stock up on at least 6 or 3 bottles of Sugar Reverse? Now is the time to make a decision. The decision to join 113,000 customers who have tried our revolutionary formula. And if you are not satisfied for any reason during your use, that has never happened. But just to be cautious, send me an email and I will buy it back from you without question. As I said, this is a 100% risk-free investment. So, click the buttons below to start your journey to get rid of diabetes. But know that you really need to take action now. And look, I still have a few more surprises that you can win if you act today. And I warn you that the last one is the most special. Look, it's something extra to encourage viewers to commit to at least 3 months of treatment to achieve the best results. Anyone who orders at least 3 bottles of Sugar Reverse will receive my ebook, The No Diabetes Life, for free via email. This book contains secrets such as the list of medications that seem harmless but are one of the biggest villains and causes of type 2 diabetes. The 7th item on this list is actually one that is recommended for all doctors regardless of the symptoms. Why cutting carbohydrates often really never helps diabetics indeed reverse their problem. And why should these people with type 2 diabetes never ever try a low-carb diet at all whatsoever? By the way, this common misconception can actually worsen your condition. The 7 silent symptoms that your type 2 diabetes is getting worse, and dozens of other secrets are revealed to you. It is no surprise that more than 11,562 people rated this book with the highest possible scores, and just a few days after its release, it was considered a bestseller. Unfortunately, it is no longer sold in printed format, but I spoke with my team, and those who secure any bottle of Sugar Reverse today will receive a digital copy of this book 100% free. Furthermore, in recent months, thanks to this book, I have been able to help thousands of people reverse diabetes and free themselves from the disease once and for all, in a much faster way, precisely with the help of this book. To further improve the results and the experience of those who purchase 6 or 3 bottles of Sugar Reverse, they will also definitely receive a tracking app and assistance for the proper use of our formula as soon as they have it in hand immediately. With this app, you will have the support of specialized professionals who will help you achieve the best results in the shortest time possible. And over time, they will be able to analyze whether what you are doing today is essential for you. In addition, all your questions will be answered in less than 3 minutes, and you won't have to pay anything for it, not even the price of a consultation. Because these professionals, upon learning about our mission with the creation of Sugar Reverse, were moved and volunteered to be part of this project. You will have access to all these professionals 24 hours a day to address your questions and problems in the best and fastest way possible. So, don't wait any longer to secure your Sugar Reverse. The last thing I want is for you to come back later and see that the prices have increased or that we are out of stock again. So you need to be quick. So scroll down now to secure your 6-month package of Sugar Reverse or whatever is best for you. With all that you will acquire, you will be ensuring a 100% natural formula that contains the only proven ingredient to reverse type 2 diabetes. If used for 6 months, the ailments and pains of type 2 diabetes will be far away from your life. A prestigious book that reveals important secrets never disclosed to you before, such as the most dangerous medications in the world for people with type 2 diabetes and 7 silent symptoms that your diabetes is worsening. You will also receive an exclusive app for tracking and assistance on how to achieve the best results in the shortest time possible with Sugar Reverse, helping you to get rid of all the symptoms and problems caused by high blood sugar levels. In other words, first you will reverse the diabetes, then you will discover useful information about diseases that will prevent us from suffering from it again. You will get rid of all the problems and symptoms that this disease has brought, and you will finally be able to take advantage of a unique opportunity in life to live without the worries that this disease brings. Therefore, my only advice for you now is to choose your stock below and place your order now. If you really take your health seriously, click the button for the option that brings you the most benefits, which is appearing below this video right now, and secure your stock of Sugar Reverse while it is still available. You really only have 2 options in front of you now, just like I did not long ago. Option 1, stop following this presentation. Leave this page and do nothing. Continue the same way you are now with those horrible cravings, the lethal spikes in blood sugar, the burning inflammation in your body from restrictive diets, fatigue, restless sleep, the risk of diabetic coma, blindness, amputation, or Alzheimer's. Frustrated because nothing works, spending hundreds, perhaps thousands of dollars on useless therapies, struggling with their diabetes for years or even decades, losing their vision, their leg, or their mental clarity. It won't be pleasant. Or option 2, get the Sugar Reverse right now without risking anything, and you'll be surprised at how well it works. As soon as you receive your order, start taking it with a dropper daily before breakfast in a few days. I am sure you will be surprised at how quickly your sugar levels will stabilize. With better health than you had 10 or 20 years ago, without pain, without inflammation, with younger and softer skin, a slimmer body, flatter stomach, and most importantly, with the certainty that there is still much to be lived in this long and beautiful journey we call life. Can you imagine your happiness and the happiness of the people who love and support you? And the best part of all, this is covered by a 180-day guarantee or 100% of your money back. So go ahead and place your order now. Now you have nothing more to lose and everything to gain, so click below to make your choice. Enter your payment details and place your order now. It was a pleasure for me to share my story and this amazing discovery with you today. I believe you are ready to get started. Now, click below and start reversing your type 2 diabetes today. Are you still here? Great. If you have more questions, I will do my best to answer them here. Question 1. I have had diabetes for years and heard about TOX cells today. What exactly are these cells and are they the cause of diabetes? Yes, they are the cause of diabetes. Look, TOX cells are cells that have stopped functioning properly in your body and began to release toxins in the body, preventing the beta cells of the pancreas from having the strength to produce insulin. Studies show that people with diabetes have an accumulation of these TOX cells in their bodies, which prevents their beta cells from multiplying and functioning properly. This significant lack of insulin production is the real cause of diabetes. And this is exactly what happens to diabetics. Question 2. My blood sugar is dropping drastically after using Sugar Reverse, even without changing my lifestyle. Is that normal? Clearly. And this has not only happened to you, but thousands of diabetics who are using Sugar Reverse. After all, your lifestyle will not interfere with your treatment for the reversal of diabetes. From the moment that toxic cells are the root cause of this problem, Sugar Reverse has the exact function of addressing this. Question 3. I am in my 3rd month of use and have already lost 28 pounds. My A1C is at 5%, and thanks to Sugar Reverse, I am free to live. This has never happened before, but why did it happen specifically with Sugar Reverse? Hi, Gerald. Well, it's simple. If toxic cells are the cause of diabetes and all the other problems in your body, then we discovered that certain compounds can detoxify the body of these toxic cells and make it possible for the multiplication and proper functioning of the beta cells in the pancreas. We did everything to ensure that these compounds in their purest and most concentrated forms were included in our Sugar Reverse, precisely so that regardless of the person, their body could recover and live the happy and free life they have always desired. We repair all the damaged cells in the body. Question 4. I just bought Sugar Reverse. I am extremely anxious. I want to know more about what to expect. Well, I assure you that you will not be disappointed. Shortly after using this formula, you will certainly start producing insulin normally again, reaching normal blood sugar levels within the first few weeks. After a while of continuous use of Sugar Reverse, people will be able to stop insulin injections and reverse diabetes, restoring healthy function, not only of the pancreas, but also of the cardiovascular system, kidneys, brain, and other important organs. It is the only proven method that gives you the power to say goodbye to your type 2 diabetes and its fatal complications. But before stopping on your own, consult your doctor to check properly. Question 5. I was curious about how Sugar Reverse is made. Is it really safe and manufactured to the highest standards? Sugar Reverse is proudly manufactured here in the United States at a facility that strictly adheres to the highest standards of good manufacturing practices, the Takeda Laboratory. It is meticulously crafted in a facility registered with the FDA under strict standards to ensure quality and safety, to ensure that the ingredients match what is on the label and that there are no toxic ingredients inside. We conducted rigorous and precise testing. Of course, we strongly disagree with the use of fillers, preservatives, and artificial ingredients. This commitment allows Sugar Reverse to be an exceptionally pure, yet incredibly effective advancement for eliminating type 2 diabetes and facilitating healthy blood sugar levels. Question 6. It was so easy to request a refund, I ended up asking for it by mistake, and the money is already in my account. How did this happen? Look, by clicking on one of the options at the bottom of this page and obtaining your supply of Sugar Reverse today, you are automatically protected by our comprehensive 180-day guarantee and 100% money-back policy. 100% money-back guarantee, 100% refund policy, 100% money-back. This means that if you change your mind about Sugar Reverse for any reason, in the next 2 months, just contact our customer service team by phone or email. We will quickly refund your investment in Sugar Reverse within 48 hours, no questions asked, and 8 hours without questions. Rest assured, you will be assisted by a genuine person who truly cares about your satisfaction and is eager to provide support. With our unwavering guarantee, you can take the leap with confidence and enjoy Sugar Reverse without any risk on your part. Question 7. Okay, I am ready to order Sugar Reverse now. What should I do next? All you have to do is click the order button below. Choose the best package for you, enter your regular details, and place your order. We will promptly send your bottles directly to your home. Rest assured that you will be amazed at how quickly Sugar Reverse will reverse your type 2 diabetes and restore healthy glucose levels. Our package of bottles is the most popular option, and this is because 6 bottles of Sugar Reverse can completely regenerate the entire body and eliminate any health issues caused by diabetes, including the restoration of tissue. Furthermore, as I mentioned earlier, all our purchases are protected by our 180-day, 100% money-back guarantee. So go ahead and place your order now so you can experience the transformative power of Sugar Reverse for yourself immediately. The moment you place your order, we will send the Sugar Reverse to you. As soon as you receive your order in just a few days, start taking Sugar Reverse daily and make it your new morning ritual. You will be surprised by its remarkable effectiveness. Click below and start turning back clock on your diabetes today.